I had a patient who is a hairdresser. So naturally they come in with shoulder, neck pain, wrist pain, that type of thing. And we were talking about how she's not really a hairdresser. What she is a psychiatrist who happens to dabble in hair. And I've often felt that I'm a chiropractor, that I'm really a psychiatrist who happens to help people with their musculoskeletal problems. Every profession has this. It's easy enough to cut hair. It's easy enough to adjust someone's spine and get their spine moving well. But the hardest part is dealing with the emotional component of dealing with other humans who have different mindsets, different backgrounds, different experiences. And this is the topic of this video, is how do we get ourselves to improve our lives when it's our own mind that is probably the most troubling of all our health concerns. Some people have major problems. And one of the things I love about being a chiropractor, and one of the things I hate about being a chiropractor, is you get to know patients. I don't practice in a way where, oh, you have pain, write a script, here's your prescription for the drugs, get out of here and I'll never see you again. If you keep coming back and complain, I'll just refer you to an orthopedist or someone else who can basically then refer you to the guy that'll put you out. So when I'm actually doing my procedure, I'm not even talking to you. Boy, that went off on a tangent. But on a serious note, I really like the fact that you get to know people, that on a weekly basis I may be adjusting someone and getting to know them as a human, as a person, what their idiosyncrasies are and what their life is like, what their past life. And people tell me stories, and sometimes I just go, wow, that's hardcore. There's been a lot of things that happen in people's childhood that they're still harboring today, and they're 60 years old and they're still holding resentment about things. And I find that the mental health of a patient, if you were to choose, do you really want to get rid of your shoulder pain? Do you really want to get rid of your back pain? Do you really want your hair to look nice, or would you rather be happy? And unfortunately, in this video, I don't have an answer for you. I have an answer for me. I've figured out how to make myself happy, and I'm going to share that with you. Maybe it'll help you. Maybe it won't. I don't know. But the story is, I've learned to ignore certain things. I don't watch the news. I don't have a television. We got rid of network TV. Channel 2, Channel 4, Channel 5, Channel 7, Channel 9, Channel 11, Channel 13. That's what I grew up with. That's all we had. The rich kids on the block had On TV, and you could watch MTV, and that was the heyday. But now I find that network TV is just an advertisement. It's not helping anyone. There's an agenda, and they want to keep me down, and I'm just not going to buy into their crap. I'm not going to watch it. If I want to be depressed, I'll watch the news. But what I find is that watching the news, it doesn't help my life. Knowing what's happening in the world, if there's something bad happening in another state, or taxes are going up, or gas prices are going up, or this is going to start happening, we suddenly somehow know exactly when a disease is going to occur that you need to be afraid of, yet we can't even predict the weather. Now come on, I don't want to know. So call it putting your head in the sand, but that's what I've learned to do, is just put my head in the sand. I figure out what I want in my life, I figure out what my goals are, and I go after them. And I just ignore all the crap that goes on. Now, having said that, there's crap that's going on, and you have to learn how to deal with it. And I've learned to do this. This would be my second step that I use personally, and I'm not telling you to do it, I'm just saying this is how I do it. Can I change it? Can I alter it? Is it beyond my control? It's beyond my control. There's nothing I could do. If gas prices are going up, if there's a war in another country, I'm not in government. I have no control over that. It's not my job. All I do is pay taxes, and hopefully the people in charge know how to keep this country safe. But if I can't control it, there's nothing I could do. So why stress over it? Doesn't make any sense to me. Now, if I can alter it, then I'm going to try to alter it without too much emotion. I'm not going to get emotionally tied to the end result. But sometimes you can't control everything in the universe. Back to number 3. The third thing is I read this book years and years ago. It's by Dale Carnegie. It's How to Win Friends and Influence People. That's the book you're thinking about. But actually, he wrote another book that was not as well received. And it was How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. And that book really made a big difference for me. You see, what happened was it gives you ideas of how to deal with problems and how to structurally organize your life and the way that you think so that you can be happy no matter what. And that was a great book. And so I'm going to say this, I'm not, but I'm still relatively young, and I hope to have a lot of years ahead of me. And part of the process now that I'm dealing with is as I'm aging, I'm starting to notice that I'm thinking of things that are different than what my goals were when I was in my early years. I realize that I have more years behind me than I may have in front of me. I may realize that athletically, despite the fact that I do everything possible to try to hold on to this athleticism that I wish I had, I'm losing it. I'm losing it. It's impossible to be as good of an athlete in your middle 50s as it is when you were 20 years old. I'm sure there's someone out there that's done it, but I'm going to guarantee this. That's a lot of Photoshop when you see these pictures, so I don't buy it. But I'm having trouble dealing with the concept of athletically slowing down, of mentally slowing down, of being prepared for the inevitable, and I'm learning to deal with it. The advantage I have is that up there in my office, upstairs, I have the advantage of seeing a lot of patients who are in the situation that I'm in right now, that I'm dealing with, and watching how they deal with it. And what I've learned is when you get older, you could be really bitter, you could be really appreciative, you could be really happy, or you could be really miserable. And really, the choice is up to you and me. Hopefully this message was not lost on you, and I hope that maybe it inspires you to think about your own life and what your goals are, and maybe you got something out of this that maybe you can use. I hope so. Thumbs up, give me a subscribe, hit the bell notification, all that good stuff. If you don't, I don't care.